There are prayers whispered in the dark. There are prayers screamed in desperation. And then there are prayers that sit in silence for 30 years, tucked away in an old wooden box, waiting. Inside the dark wooden box my grandmother left me, there were no precious jewels, no $1 million will, just a single piece of paper. On it, a prayer. The biggest question of my life, the one that has haunted me for years, wasn't how to get rich or how to be successful. It was this: how could a simple prayer, handwritten on a yellowed piece of paper, have the power to mend a family so broken that the living treated each other as if they were dead? Welcome back, and today, we're going to open this mystery box together. A box that holds the silence of 3 generations. My father and my uncle, 2 brothers, hadn't spoken a word to each other in 30 years. They lived in the same city, but in 2 different worlds. Between them lay a silent void, dense and colder than the Arctic. That silence, it has a weight of its own. It pressed down on our holiday dinners, making everyone's smile feel forced. It turned phone calls into moments of dialing a number, only to hang up in a hurry. It was an invisible ghost, present in every corner of our memory. Have you ever wondered what it takes to destroy a strong relationship? For my family, it wasn't a hurricane. It was a relentless drizzle, day after day, that eroded the very foundation of our bond. I remember, when I was just a boy, our house was always filled with laughter on the weekends. My dad and my uncle would work on an old motorbike together, their hands black with grease, but their faces lit up with endless jokes. So what happened? An argument over money. It wasn't even a large amount, just about who would contribute more to fix my grandparents' roof. My uncle, struggling financially at the time, felt he was being pressured. My father, with his brutally honest nature, thought my uncle was shirking his responsibility. From a debate, it turned into a war of egos. You don't understand my situation. You don't respect me as your older brother. Words like knives, thrown without a second thought. And then, the silence began. 1 day, 2 days, a week, a month, and then 30 years. They chose to punish each other with their absence, a punishment in which they were both the victims. Years later, when my grandmother passed away, I was the one tasked with sorting through her belongings. And that's when I found it. At the bottom of her old wardrobe, smelling of cedar and mothballs, was the wooden box. Imagine this with me. My hand trembled as I touched the worn varnish. The box wasn't large, about the size of a book. On its lid was a small carving of a lotus flower, an unopened bud. When I opened it, my expectations were high, but inside, there was only a single piece of paper, folded into a square, yellowed with age. I carefully unfolded it. My grandmother's ink had faded, but the words were still legible. It wasn't a complex prayer. No pleas to gods or spirits. It was just one line, a single sentence. At that moment, I read it, and I didn't understand. I was disappointed. I thought, that's it? I put it away, and almost forgot it existed. The truth is, a prayer is not a magic wand. You can't just recite an incantation and expect everything to snap back into place. Carrying that sliver of hope from the box, I tried. I tried to be the bridge. I called my uncle. Hey uncle, Dad and I were thinking of coming over for dinner this weekend. There was a pause on the other end, then a distant voice replied, I'm busy. I spoke to my father. Dad, I saw Uncle the other day. Hez, looking older. My dad just flipped a page of his newspaper, his eyes never leaving the print, and answered curtly, don't care. That feeling, ladies and gentlemen, is the feeling of absolute helplessness. It's like screaming in a soundproof room. Your energy is depleted, but not a single sound gets out. The wall between them wasn't built of bricks and mortar. It was built of hurt and pride. And that is the strongest kind of wall there is. Let's pause the personal story here for a moment and look at this through the lens of psychology. Why is reconciliation so difficult? First, there's a principle called escalation of commitment. The longer we invest in a decision, in this case, the decision to not speak to each other, the harder it is to abandon it. Admitting you were wrong after 30 years is infinitely harder than admitting it after 30 minutes. The ego becomes its own prison. Second, there's pain as identity. Over the years, the pain of being wronged became a part of their identities. I am the brother who was betrayed. I am the brother who was disrespected. To let go of the conflict would mean letting go of a part of themselves they had grown accustomed to. And that's a terrifying thing. So, a truly effective prayer isn't one that begs for an external result. It's not, please make my father and uncle reconcile. An effective prayer is one that changes the person who is praying from within. It doesn't change the circumstances. It changes our perspective on the circumstances. It's not a request. It's a recalibration of one's inner compass. And this was the second clue, the key that would finally unlock the mystery of my grandmother's box. The prayer wasn't for my father or for my uncle. It was for the person reading it. One rainy night, many years later, I stumbled upon the box again. I unfolded the paper one more time. Under the warm glow of a lamp, I reread my grandmother's words. And this time, I understood. The prayer read, "Grant me the strength to love them, even when they cannot love each other." Do you see? It was never about them. It was about me. My grandmother didn't leave behind a magic spell to change her two stubborn sons. She left behind a tool to change her grandson. She knew I couldn't break down their wall, but I could open a door in my own heart. To love them, even when they cannot love each other. What did that mean? It meant accepting their imperfections. It meant stopping the judgment of who was right and who was wrong. It meant letting go of the burden of having to fix them, and instead, to simply love each of them, individually and completely. And so, I took action. A very different kind of action. I didn't call to invite them to dinner anymore. Instead, I found an old photograph. A picture of my dad and uncle in their youth, arms around each other's shoulders, beaming next to that old motorbike. I had 2 copies printed and put them in identical frames. I took one to my father. I didn't say a word about my uncle. I just said, "I found this old picture of you, Dad. You looked so handsome back then. This is for you." He took it, and was silent for a long time. His hand trembled as he traced the face of his younger brother in the photo. Then I took the other frame to my uncle. I said the same thing. "I wanted you to have this, Uncle. Your smile back then was so beautiful." He, too, fell silent. He placed the frame on the table next to his armchair, where he would see it every day. I expected nothing. I had followed the prayer, simply to love, without demanding anything in return. 1 week later, it was my uncle's number. My heart was pounding. I answered, "Hello." There was a moment of silence on the line. Then I heard my uncle's voice, hoarse with emotion. "The bike, the one in the picture. You and your dad should come by this weekend. It still runs." It wasn't an apology. It wasn't an explanation. But it was an invitation. An invitation to return to the garden of memory, where everything was still whole. That weekend, for the first time in 30 years, my father walked into my uncle's house. They didn't say much. They just stood there, silently, looking at the old motorbike. My father pointed to a screw. "This one," he said. "You always did a sloppy job with this one." My uncle smiled, a weathered, knowing smile. "Well," he said, "you can fix it now, can't you?" They didn't say, "I'm sorry." They didn't say, "I forgive you." They spoke to each other in the shared language of their memories. The prayer hadn't fixed them. It had fixed me, so that I could create a space safe enough for them to fix themselves. The mystery of the box was solved. It didn't contain magic. It contained a map to compassion. Dear listeners, every family story is different. The cracks all have different shapes. Perhaps, in your life, there is a wooden box waiting to be discovered. Perhaps you, too, are searching for a prayer of your own. The lesson my grandmother's box taught me is this: we cannot change other people, but we can always change the way we love them. Sometimes, the most powerful prayer is not a plea, but an action born from understanding. Start by changing the question. Instead of asking, "How can I get them to change?" ask yourself, "How can I love them better, right now, exactly as they are?" Thank you for listening to Echoes of Memory today. If this story touched you, please share it with someone you think needs to hear it. And don't forget to subscribe, so we can continue to explore the deep echoes of memory together in future episodes. And now, take a moment of silence. Think of a fractured relationship in your own life, and try whispering this prayer. Grant me the strength to love them, even when I don't understand them. Grant me peace, even when there is no harmony between us. I wish you a peaceful day. On my desk, there is an old brass compass. Its glass face is fractured with a long crack, and if you shake it gently, you can hear the faint rattle of tiny shards inside. But the strangest thing about it is not its appearance. The strangest thing is, it no longer points north. Its needle, instead of holding steady, now just spins. Slowly, aimlessly, trembling, like the mind of someone trapped in a pain with no escape. It spins and spins, searching for a direction it has lost. This compass was not originally mine. It belonged to an old friend, and it broke on the very night that our friendship broke along with it. For years, I have asked myself, can something that is broken ever be mended? Can a compass needle that has lost its way ever find its north again? The answer, surprisingly, was hidden in the most ancient of pages, and it is nothing like what you have ever been told about forgiveness. Today, we are going to open this mystery box together, because forgiveness is not a gift you give to someone else. It is a key. But what door does this key unlock? That is the great question we are here to answer. Before we can find the key, we must first realize that we are in a prison. Not a prison with iron bars or stone walls, but a prison of our own emotions. Just imagine it. Every morning when you wake up, you do not put on a backpack. You heave an invisible boulder onto your shoulders. A boulder named hurt. The anger is like a bitter taste still in your mouth from the night before. The resentment is like a rope tightening around your chest, making every breath a struggle. You smile at your colleagues, but it is just a mask. Inside, you are replaying the tape of that day. Every word, every action, every look, it just loops over and over again. The Bible describes this state terrifyingly. You have been handed over to the jailers. That jailer is bitterness. It tortures you day and night. And the irony is, the person who hurt you is probably out there living their life, completely unaware of the prison you have locked yourself in. You are the only prisoner in your own story. And that is our first clue. This prison is one of our own making. Many people say, just forgive and forget. Let me be blunt, that is terrible advice. It is toxic. Our brains are not designed to forget traumatic events. Trying to forget a deep hurt is like trying not to think about a pink elephant. The harder you try, the more vivid the elephant becomes. Biblical forgiveness is not a form of amnesia. It is not pretending that nothing ever happened. To do that is to lie to yourself and to dishonor your own pain. Instead, forgiveness is about changing how we remember. Picture your wound when it was fresh. It is an open wound, raw, bleeding, easily infected. Every time it is touched, even accidentally, you cry out in pain. Forgiveness is the process of cleaning, disinfecting, and bandaging that wound. It still hurts, but the pain begins to subside. Over time, the wound heals, leaving a scar. The scar remains. It is a part of your story. It reminds you of what happened. But when you touch it, it no longer hurts. It no longer controls you. Our second clue, forgiveness is not about erasing the past, but about revoking the power the past has over your present. To understand this better, let us journey back in time to the arid deserts of ancient Canaan. Let us listen to the story of a young man named Joseph. He had grand dreams and a stunning coat of many colors, a gift from his father. But those very things sowed seeds of jealousy in the hearts of his brothers. One day, they stripped him of his coat and threw him into an empty well. Imagine how Joseph felt in that moment. The ultimate betrayal. Darkness closing in. The laughter of his own brothers echoing down from the mouth of the well. They sold him into slavery. He was falsely accused, thrown into prison. Years passed. Joseph lost everything. But in that darkness, he did not let bitterness consume him. He held on to his faith. And then, through his ability to interpret dreams, he came to the attention of Pharaoh and became the second most powerful man in all of Egypt. And then, the fateful day arrived. A great famine struck the land, and Joseph's brothers had to come to Egypt, begging for food. They bowed down before him, never recognizing the little brother they had sold away so many years before. Joseph had all the power to take revenge. With the snap of his fingers, they could have been executed. Justice would be served. But what did he do? He wept. And he said, "Do not be afraid. You intended to harm me, but God intended it for good." He saw the bigger picture. He chose forgiveness. The story of Joseph teaches us the first and most painful principle of forgiveness. You must name the truth. Joseph did not say, "Oh, it is okay. It was not a big deal." No. He said it plainly. You intended to harm me. He acknowledged the betrayal. He acknowledged the pain. Healing cannot begin with pretense. It begins by bravely looking into the abyss of your hurt and saying, "Yes, this happened. And it hurt. Badly." This is the moment you give yourself permission to be vulnerable. Permission to cry. Permission to be angry. You do not have to be strong right away. Sit with your pain as you would a friend. Listen to it. Understand it. Only when you acknowledge its existence can you begin the healing process. This is our third, crucial clue. True forgiveness does not bypass pain. It goes through it. This is another critically important point that many people confuse. Forgiveness and reconciliation are two completely different things. Forgiveness is a unilateral act. You can forgive someone even if they never apologize. You can forgive someone who has passed away. You can forgive someone you never want to see again. Forgiveness happens inside your heart and mind. It is your business alone. Reconciliation, on the other hand, is a bilateral act. It takes two. It requires repentance from the offender and the rebuilding of trust. It is the work of rebuilding a bridge that was destroyed. You can forgive without reconciling. Especially in toxic or abusive relationships, forgiveness is essential for your freedom, but reconciliation could be dangerous. Forgiveness does not mean you have to open the door and let that person walk back into your life to hurt you again. Forgiveness means you close the chapter in your mind, but you still have every right to lock the front door to protect yourself. Our fourth clue: you can forgive from a safe distance. So, what is the core of the act of forgiveness? If it is not forgetting, and it is not reconciliation, then what is it? The Bible uses a very powerful image: canceling a debt. Imagine the person who hurt you is a debtor. They owe you an apology. They owe you justice. They owe you the years of peace you lost. You are holding a spiritual IOU in your hand. Every day, you take out that IOU. You brood over it. You resent the fact that the debt remains unpaid. Holding on to it gives you a sense of power, a sense of being in the right. But holding on to it is what is keeping you in bondage. Forgiveness, quite literally, is the act of taking that IOU, crumpling it up, and tearing it to pieces. You declare to the universe and to yourself, you no longer owe me. I release you from this debt. And more importantly, I release myself from the job of being a debt collector. This is an act of the will, not an act of emotion. You will probably not feel like forgiving, but you choose to forgive. You choose to stop demanding payment. And when you do that, something miraculous happens. The compass needle that was spinning wildly in your mind, suddenly, it begins to slow. We have been on a long journey, and now it is time to return to the question from the beginning of the podcast. The broken compass on my desk. I used to think it represented our broken relationship. I was wrong. That compass was not the relationship. That compass is me. It is you. It is anyone carrying an unhealed wound. The needle spins aimlessly not because of the other person. The needle spins because our own bitterness, resentment, and pain are creating a chaotic magnetic field, causing us to lose our direction. And the key of forgiveness. Remember, I said it was not for opening a door to let them back in. That key is for opening the door to the prison you have locked yourself in. Forgiveness is not saying, what you did was okay. Forgiveness is saying, what you did will no longer have the power to destroy my life. Forgiveness is not a gift you give to others. It is the gift you give yourself. It is the act of setting yourself free. It is the moment you step out of that prison, take a deep breath of fresh air, and feel the sun on your face for the first time in a very, very long time. That is the moment. The compass needle inside you finds its true north again. The compass on my desk, it still has cracks. The scars of the past never vanish completely, but its needle is still now. It is pointing true. The journey of forgiveness is not a straight line. There will be days you succeed, and days the IOU seems to reappear in your hand. That is okay. Be patient with yourself. It is a process, not a single event. Today, I want to invite you to do one small thing. Think of one debt you are still holding on to. It does not have to be the biggest one. Maybe it is a careless word from a colleague, a misunderstanding with a family member. Picture that IOU in your hands, and just in your imagination, try tearing it up. Feel the relief, even if it is just a little, as you free yourself from the role of debt collector. Thank you for walking this path of discovery with me today, here in the quiet place. If this episode spoke to you, please share it with someone you think might need to hear these words. And remember, you deserve peace. You deserve to be free.